welcome to my channel. My name is Kim Akia. I go by Akia on this channel where I talk about life, talk about career, and the supernatural. So today's video is video number 3 or part 3 of my supernatural short story series. So if you are into the supernatural, ghost stories, spiritual stories, then definitely stay tuned, okay? So today's video is about how I got possessed by a female spirit in Thailand. Ooh, child, it's interesting. All right, so let me start off from the beginning. Basically, the gist of it is I don't recall ever in my life being possessed by a spirit, but it actually happened. I was actually possessed by a spirit in Thailand, okay? So me and 4 of my best friends, we usually do a girls trip every year. This is before the pandemic. This was in 2017. I believe 2017, October 2017. Our girls trip was to Thailand and to Bali, okay? So in Thailand, we had 3 stops. We were gonna go to Krabi Island first. After Krabi, we were gonna go to Chiang Mai, and then we're gonna go to the Phi Phi Islands, okay? After that, we were gonna fly over to Bali, Indonesia, and we had like 4 or 5 days over in Bali, Indonesia. We had a villa, we had excursions planned, had all these great things planned in Bali, Indonesia, okay? So that was the girls trip. It's the 5 of us. We have been planning it for months. You know, it's my first time. Well, actually, I've been out of the country before, but I've never been to Asia before, okay? So this was my first time to Thailand. I think this was all of our first times to Thailand and Indonesia, okay? So anyway, we fly over to, where did we go first? I think we flew from JFK to China first. And then when we got to China, I think we took a flight from China over to Bangkok, Thailand. Once we were in Bangkok, I think we took something over to Krabi Island. This was October 2017. So, and I don't have the best memory in the world, but smaller details I'm trying to remember. So when we got to China, I believe we took another flight to either Bangkok, Once we were in Thailand, then we took something over to Krabi Island. I don't remember what we took to Krabi Island. I don't think we took a flight to Krabi Island. I think we maybe took a shuttle or a boat. I can't remember, but Krabi Island is an island off of, Thailand. Just like Phuket is an island. We were gonna go to Phuket, but at the time, Phuket was so touristy. We wanted to go to an island, but something that wasn't as touristy as Phuket. Now looking back in hindsight, we should have just went to damn Phuket. Anyway, we ended up at Krabi Island. That was our first stop. So we get there, we were exhausted because, traveling from JFK to China, that was like a 12-hour flight. And then we had another flight, from China to Thailand. So we were tired, and we were drinking on the plane. We had our wine, our drinks, we were laughing, having a good time. So we were just really, really tired by the time we got to our first spot in Thailand. So we got there to Thailand, we were all exhausted, okay? We get to the hotel on Krabi Island. Now, the first thing that all of us realize is that Krabi Island is kind of sketchy. It's really kind of like dingy, run down a little bit. There's some nice hotels and stuff like that, but like overall the vibe is not like, the vibe is kind of like dingy and run down, honestly. I'm gonna keep it real. Back then. So, but the hotel that we were staying at was a cute boutique hotel, had like a neon light. I remember that. Really cute. So we go upstairs and we're staying in this big suite, and I think that we were only gonna be in Krabi Island for like a day or 2. And then from Krabi, we're gonna go to Chiang Mai, and that we had some things to do at Chiang Mai. And then from Chiang Mai, that's when we were gonna, go to the Phi Phi Islands and then head over to Bali. So basically, Krabi was more like a 1.5 day, maybe 2 day pit stop. I think we're only staying overnight. So it was like a quick stop. Anyway, we're exhausted. We get upstairs, get into the room. We have a big suite because, again, it's the 5 of us. I think we had like two king size beds or something like that. It was really like a mini apartment, really, from what I recall. I'm seeing it now in my head. Had a balcony. The balcony overlooked the street. But again, Krabi, in my personal opinion back then, was not really, like I said, it's like sketchy, dingy. I remember we went out that night to a corner store to maybe like get some waters and things of that nature because it was like really late when we got in, and they were like, yeah, let's hurry up and get in our get back to our room because it's like it's sketch out here. It's like dingy, like, you know. So anyway, we're exhausted. And all I remember is we're in the room, and I think it's late at night. I think that we had just got in, and I was walking across the room. The TV was here, the two beds were here, there was like a kitchen, and this was like, you know, big open space. And if you walk, then the balcony is there. And so I'm walking, literally like the front door's here, from here, walking, and all of a sudden I feel my back just crack in half. Like literally, I go crack. I literally just go crack, and I drop to my knees, and all of a sudden I start going Aah! So for me, thinking back, I was so extremely exhausted, and I didn't realize at the time, but exhaustion, severe exhaustion, and also we have been drinking alcohol, that is an easy way for spirits to come into your aura field or like possess you, you know, because that's what spirits do. When you drink alcohol, spirits possess you. That's why they're called spirits. That's a real thing. And so, and then you're so exhausted. That's like a recipe for something to come into you. I didn't know that at the time. Now I'm more spiritually aware and more just knowing how to protect my spirit, my aura. But back then I really wasn't. I was praying here and there, but I wasn't lighting candles and praying for protection over myself. I was not doing all of that back then, but I learned my lesson. And so anyway, I cracked, I dropped to the floor, and I just remember going, "Ooh!" And in my mind, I'm crying because I'm so tired. I was so exhausted that I was crying, like, and I dropped to my knees, but it just felt like my body, like, literally just cracked in half. And so after Kim, my spirit is thinking to myself, like, oh my God, I'm so tired. Then all of a sudden, I just know that this spirit, she took over me. And I know that she was a female because it was very apparent. I don't know if, you know, anybody who's watching this video has ever been possessed by a spirit. I'm thankful that I wasn't possessed by a demon. I don't think a demon could get through me because I'm just very layered, protected. But yeah, I'm happy that she possessed me and not the damn demon. But anyway, I say all that to say it was a female spirit. It's very apparent. It's very clear, you know, that it was a female spirit. And I was literally in the middle of the floor crying. It must have been 30, 45 minutes. It could have been up to an hour and change. But I noticed, my friends noticed it. And I just remember like laying on the floor and I'm just doing this, just like, and at this time when she's taking over my body, I feel like this is what it feels like, so that you could visually understand. It feels like when she's taking over my body, and it feels like I'm in a room, and say for example, somebody walks in the room and they're just loud, and they're like, I have something to say. I want to say something. And they're talking so much, so loud that you can't even get a word in. And I just feel like I was backed up into a corner. This is what it felt like. It felt like my spirit was pushed into a corner, and I could visually feel my spirit being like, oh God, like this girl is loud. She's okay, let me just let her talk. Okay, she has to talk. I was just like literally like this, like, because I couldn't say anything. She was so loud, and she had the energy of like, I have something to say. I need to say something. Y'all are going to hear me. I'm going to speak. Like, this is the energy that she was communicating. Like, and I think that's why she possessed my body, because she wanted to use me to like speak. And she was like crying. And then I was crying and crying for a long time. And then I started speaking another language. And I remember hearing another language briefly, but then I was not really consciously there. But when the whole thing was done, my friends were telling me I was speaking another language. They don't even know what language I was speaking. I was just speaking blah, blah, blah. I can't even tell you what it sounded like or what I think it was. It was another language, and it wasn't just a few words. Like I was speaking another language like for, you know, a good minute. And like I said, this whole ordeal, because time is an illusion. And, you know, when you're done with the spiritual realm, I honestly don't even know. I would have to ask my friends how long. But what it felt like is I was in this possessive state for like 30 to 45, maybe an hour. And maybe about an hour and like 15, 20 minutes, because at some point, I started speaking the language and was on the floor crying. At this point, my friends gathered around me. They're all prayer warriors, all Christians. So they all just started praying over me. And then our coworker back in New York was like really heavily in the church. I think she was like high up in the church, very religious woman. They called her on the phone. She's praying on the phone over me, because I'm sure in their mind, they're like, this is not normal. Like, this is something, we don't know what this is, but let's call Donna. So they called Donna, and Donna is praying on the phone, over me. They're praying over me. And again, I think this whole ordeal was like an hour and a half at the most. That's what it felt like. So anyway, they're praying. Eventually I come back to myself, whatever. And I don't remember what we talked about, but they were like, okay, you okay? Like, make sure I'm okay. And I think it was near nighttime, so we had to go to sleep. And so I don't remember like from that, but I do remember we went to sleep that night. I don't know what was said or anything like that. That's a blur. But then the next morning we got up and we were actually on our way to go to Chiang Mai. And so we were packing up our stuff and getting ready to like, let's get out of here. At this point, all of us were done with this place, because it was like very sketchy. It was like the vibe was just very dingy and weird. And then we had went down to the pool area to get some drinks and stuff before we actually, I forgot to mention that, before we actually got back to the room. We had went down by the pool area, a really nice pool area, and like there was a bartender down there, and there was something sketchy about that. I can't really remember. Like one of my friends, like the drink was like kind of iffy or something of that nature. So we were just like, we wasn't really feeling this place. And then I get possessed. So we're like, okay, yeah, we are done with this place. The vibe, the energy is off. It's very weird here. So we're all in the room, getting our stuff together, because we're headed out. And before we, leave, I go out on the balcony one last time. I'm like, oh, let me go out on the balcony one last time to kind of like look out at Crabby Island, because I probably won't ever be back. And I just wanted to look out on Crabby Island. So I'm out on the balcony. And as I'm out on the balcony, in my right ear, I hear her say, jump. So I said, oh. So I came back in. I said, y'all, she just told me to jump off the balcony. And they said, let's go. We getting out of here. That's it. And then we haul butt out of there. We're like, no, we ain't never coming back to Krabby. So that's my story about the time that I got possessed by a female spirit in Krabi, Thailand. And to me, I kind of felt like, I don't know if that female spirit was, maybe got killed or died in that room or in that hotel or in that area. But the fact that she had possessed me and she just really had a lot to say. Obviously she was speaking a different language. We don't know what she was saying or what she was trying to say, but there was things that she had to get out. She wanted to speak, and I don't know what the message was, but it was definitely an urgent message that she had to get out, and she wanted to be heard. That was very clear, her message to me, like, I want to be heard. I have something to say. You're going to hear me. It wasn't more like, I'm the head bitch, so y'all listen to me. It wasn't that energy. It was more so like, oh, I finally got somebody that I'm able to communicate to. Okay, look, I got to tell y'all something. This is what I got to say. Like, it was more like kind of like warning. Like, I got to tell y'all some things. Like it's a secret, y'all, or this thing's going on. It was more of that type of vibe going on. But again, we didn't understand the language that she was speaking, so we don't know what she was trying to say. And then the fact that she told me to jump off of the balcony, I was done. We were all done. So anyway, after that experience, I realized I wasn't prayed up enough. I wasn't praying over myself enough. I was not praying for protection over myself. I learned my lesson. I pray for protection over my heart, my mind, my body, my spirit every single day. My family members, my friends. I light candles. I speak out loud. I have built a strong relationship, even stronger relationship with God and my spirit team, my spirit guides, my guardian angels, my ancestors, my benevolent beings, all of these angels that are assigned to me to assist me and help me. Like, I have more of a connection to them now, and I'm stronger. And I'm definitely the type of person that I pray, and I know that I have authority over these lower level entities. Like, I know who I am. I know what my place is now. Back then I did not know, but I'm way, way, way more spiritually aware and spiritually protected and connected to God even more than I was back then. So definitely learned my lesson, and my takeaway is for all of you, every human being, we need to be praying. We need to be strengthening our connection to God, and literally pray for protection. We are in a spiritual warfare, y'all. There's spiritual warfare going on, and it is serious. So pray over yourself, your family, your friends every single day. Command protection and ask God to cover you and send down his angels to see about you. It's a real thing out here. So, but I feel like at the end of the day, I was a vessel for her to get out whatever she needed to get out. So I don't feel like she was malicious in any way. I felt like she just needed somebody to use to speak and get something out. Now, her telling me to jump off, I don't know if that was because she jumped off or somebody, you know, I don't know what that was about. But I didn't feel like she was a malicious spirit until, you know, and it was a female that told me jump off the bridge, jump off the balcony. So I'm assuming that it's her. It could have been another entity. It could have been another entity telling me to jump off. So, but yeah, with her, I didn't feel like she was a dark entity. I felt like she was probably a lost soul, honestly. I feel like she was a lost soul. She needed to go find the light. And if I knew back then what I know now, I would have helped her get to the light. I would have told her, follow the light. We would have prayed for her to get towards the light. But, you know, we were exhausted and out of our minds and like over the place and like, yeah, just not thinking straight. So that's my story. And have you ever been possessed? It's kind of scary when you think of it. What do you think about my story? Have you had any similar type of stories traveling or like anything similar? Let me know in the comments below. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share. I truly appreciate it. Thanks for watching, and I will see you next time. Peace.